Hey guys, this is OddOneGaming. This is going to be another Raid Shadow Legends video. Today we are going to talk a little bit about the Scarab King. I have already made several videos on my YouTube channel showing how to solo the Scarab King with certain champions. What are the other combinations of using for this specific boss. However, I do not think, hopefully I can recall properly, I do not think I have a video showing, the most basic way of dealing with the Scarab, and that is having somebody in a shield set or having Bloodshield accessories on your champions and then dealing with the boss in that way. So this is sort of like more of a, I guess, Scarab basics, but as I mentioned, I have seen plenty of people that mention in my YouTube videos and in my Twitch stream that they cannot deal with this boss, even though they have the miscreated monsters, they have the Valkyries, they have the Allures, they have the Royal Guards, even Royal Guards, Cold Hearts. So there's plenty of ways to deal with this specific champion. Like I said, the basics of this type of team is having a champion that has a shield set. Like, it doesn't have to be the same champion that puts shield. It doesn't have to be that one to be in the shield set. So for example, I could have had a Haikatun in a shield set in this team, but I have Miscreated Monster because, I wanted to have the same champion that has the shield set to be the one that does the shield. So Miscreated Monster, what he does for this team, for example, is he puts a shield up for the same amount of turns that his cooldown is. So he has a 3-turn cooldown, a 3-turn shield on a 3-turn cooldown. What that means is that he will always have the shield on for the whole fight. What does that mean, or why is that important? That's important because if you attack the Scarab without a shield on yourself, he's going to counterattack and he's gonna attack you twice. He's gonna provoke you, he's gonna make all sorts of complicated things. So that's the whole idea. Basically, you want to have the person that puts the shield to be the fastest in your team and not to have stuff that can maybe give you extra turn meter, that can swap, that can change their rotation, how they go in the rotation, because otherwise if somebody starts attacking without a shield on themselves, it can screw the whole run over and it's all gonna fall apart. The next thing that you want that's really important for this type of boss is to have a decreased speed debuff on it, and at the same time lots of turn meter control. So if you can see here in my back, who I have for that is 4 champions that do the same thing. I have Armiger that does the decreased turn meter. I have a Lord that's one of the best that does decreased turn meter. I have Seal of the Drakes, and I have Haikatun. Haikatun, honestly, I just brought in for the sake of having a speed lead and somebody that does increased speed, because maybe most of the time the team that you're trying to build is a little bit too hard and too complicated to do that, because it's the speeds are high. So for example, if we're talking about Scarab King on the highest level, you need to have over 250 speed because the Scarab has 250 speed, and you need over 300 accuracy. So trying to combine all of those things, it becomes extremely complicated. So look at this. This was full auto from the beginning and it worked pretty well. The other team that I built earlier, let me just, because I forgot to prepare it. The other team that I used earlier was something like this, that I guess was a little bit more free-to-play friendly, I guess. So instead of having a lure in there, which maybe lots of people do not have, I just had V6 and a Cold Heart in there. It's basically the same principle. You have turn meter control champions, decreased speed champions that can keep the boss's turn meter down. So basically on this team, I had V6 that did the turn meter control and the decreased speed on the A2, and Cold Heart the same thing. Cold Heart there in the back, she does the turn meter control on her A3 with the Heartseeker. So you can have, for example, you can have the Cold Heart be built in a Destroy set. Destroy set, what does it do? It basically decreases the enemy's max HP. So what happens on this boss is, if the boss has the purple bar that you see on top of its HP after we get there, basically the boss receives less damage. It receives like 90% at the beginning. By decreasing its max HP, it kind of decreases its survivability or tankiness, if you will. And as soon as you get that purple bar that's on top of the actual HP to 0, he's not gonna have that damage reduction to 90%, he's gonna be to 0. So the best way to deal with that is have somebody, like I said, like an Armiger, somebody like a Cold Heart, have them in a Destroy set, and that slowly takes away their HP. Another way to deal with that is have champions that do enemy max HP on their skill. So for example, I could bring somebody like a Dark Elhain in this team, and if I give her enough accuracy, she could be the decreased speed champion as well. On her A2, which is the AoE and does lots of damage, she also has a chance to place the decreased speed. So since for example for me, I have her build for the sake of the Dark Fae, she has the accuracy required to be the Dark Fae. And by doing that, she also provides us on her A1, she has a decreased max HP. So the 30% of the damage that she inflicts, it decreases the max HP. So if you build her properly to nuke enough, she might actually do the job here. And you know, instead of the Cold Heart, which I showed previously, you bring in here the Dark Elhain, depending how you build her. But yeah, as you see top there, see every time it says decrease max HP, this purple bar keeps slowly going down. For example, the way that I have it in this team, this was a team to sort of like show that, you know, I guess like the top tier version kinda for this one is I'm using a lure that has a Bloodshield accessory on her. She has a Bloodshield ring. What does that mean? That means that if you attack the boss with a Bloodshield accessory on your champion, it counts as if you're attacking the Scarab with a shield on yourself. Even though the shield normally, like technically, it's placed after you do the hit because it's based off of the damage you do, it counts as if you had the shield before. So that's one of the other tactics that you can do and deal with this. For example, if you have 5 turn meter champions that all have that, and you have a Bloodshield for all of them, just do that. You do not need to worry about the shield set. So for example, if I have Bloodshield for Allure, I have Bloodshield for Armiger, I have a Bloodshield for Syl. For example, for Syl, I put the Bloodshield on her. I only have one for the sake of barbarians. And I chose to put it on Syl because my Syl is built in a Relentless set, which is a set that helps you in all the other areas of the game. After this one finishes, I'm gonna exactly show you how the builds are made. I try to not make them to be anything too crazy. I just try to hit the speed, I try to hit the accuracy that I need, and then, you know, whatever after that. I didn't try to do the maximum damage, maximum other craziness, because, you know, I try to, even though I'm showcasing the one with the lore, I showed you the picture before, it works without the lore, and that was this team was 100% consistent. You know, even if you fail it once, it's like you should have really bad RNG to fail it, because the Scarab King is the only boss that does not have the passive that reduces the turn meter control like every other boss. Every other boss in the game, in Doom Tower and after stage 20, has the passive that says that you decrease their turn meter by only 50% of the normal value. So you need more of them to do that. So let me show you, like, for example, some quick presets. As an example, on the waves you don't really care. On the boss part, I just had Miscreated Monster has this as priority. He always does it, but, you know, just put it as a priority for a lure. Even though I didn't do that, you can just straight up or like use like this and maybe leave the A2 for the baby decreased defense. You want her doing the A1 as much as possible. Armiger, he's always gonna do the A1 if the boss's turn meter is over 30%. If you see that it's not enough when he does some of the A2s, just lock this one out at the boss part and only have him do the A1. Bear in mind, you need to crit and you need to have enough accuracy to land that one. With everybody else, like, whatever, it doesn't really matter, because like I said, Miscreated Monster, remove myself. Miscreated Monster is the one that has the highest speed, 256. She's higher because she's in my Fire Knight team and she has a Bloodshield accessory on herself. Everybody else is lower, and Syl of the Drakes, even though she's in a Relentless, like I mentioned, she has the Bloodshield ring. So let me show you some builds. For example, Syl, like I said, Relentless plus Bloodshield, not even ring, Bloodshield amulet. It doesn't matter what accessory it gives you, as long as it's a Bloodshield, it helps you and it does the job. Then Miscreated Monster in the shield set, like I mentioned, over 250 speed, some decent damages, like barely any damage. The accuracy, you mostly care about him landing the stuns, because there's nothing else that he can land on the boss. So, you know, if you want to use him for other areas of the game, try to give him that accuracy to be helpful. Then, like I said, my Allure is my Fire Knight one, so, you know, she's kind of crazy built here, but you don't necessarily need, like, all the crazy damage. You just need her, if you have a Bloodshield accessory, like I have the ring over here, you just care about her having the high speed and the accuracy to land her debuff. So for example, I have 391 on her and 288 speed. You want accuracy, 100% crit rate, and as fast as you can get her. That's the best way to do it, and Scarab should always be controlled for yourself. If you do not have her, then you're gonna rely on somebody, like I said, like a V6. I built her in an instinct set because I chose a random instinct that I had. Everybody should have something like this. And these are her stats, you know, 200 speed, maybe I could make her faster, 350 accuracy, and I made her to do some damage. If it's not reliable on higher stages and she dies, just straight up replace in the team that I showed you, replace Cold Heart with the Seal of the Drakes. She's gonna be your backup, she's gonna also provide you with stuns on the waves, she's gonna provide you with revive, and she also has decreased speed and decreased turn meter on the A1. Just maybe when you get to the boss part, lock out the A2 because you don't really care about this double hitter as it does nothing on the boss. Then Haikatun, like you see, I have random pieces of gear on her. I just have the decent speed and accuracy to land the debuffs. And Arbigger is in a destroy set, as I mentioned, because this set, as I said, is like decreases the enemy's max HP by 40% of the damage dealt. So this is the one that slowly ticks at the max HP of the Scarab. If you don't bring something like this, it's just gonna be slower, but you're still gonna do it, you know. But if you have a decent enough set, just bring it and use it. So yeah, I guess this is gonna be it. I know it's just stage 20, but I'm gonna show this again when I get to the higher stage. I'm gonna show the same team again, that it works, because I've already given everybody high enough speeds. Like I said, the Scarab has 250 speed, so I try to give almost everybody, apart from Seal, which is like a little bit slower, I give everybody high speeds, plus having the lead and the increased speed from Haikatun actually helps us in this type of team. So yeah, this is gonna be for the video today, guys. I hope this was helpful. I hope this gave you an idea and, like, you know, will give you options for dealing with this boss so you can tackle it in the future. Actually, one thing, let me actually just show you a few more options, because maybe I just showed you Miscreated Monster and maybe you're like, okay, I don't have Miscreated Monster and you do not have 5 Bloodshield rings on everybody. So let me show you the other options that you have. Let's start from the top one, which is the highest one, which is the legendary. It's Valkyrie. Valkyrie has after she's booked, she has a 3-turn shield on the 3-turn cooldown. She's one of the best ones, and you know, you will have her do this every time. You force her to always do this one, and you're gonna always have the shield before you attack. Just same principle, make sure she has the highest speed from your whole team if you don't have any other Bloodshield accessories. She has the highest speed, she always puts the shield, everybody can attack easily. Then the other option that we have is a epic, and it's Lordric Falconheart. Let me just find him. Same thing, he has it on the A3. If you book it, it's on a 2-turn, for 2 turns on a 2-turn cooldown. Same principle, having the fastest just to land that shield and you're good to go. Another one is there is even a rare option that's in the Lizardman, and that is Metal Shaper. I was gonna show with Metal Shaper, but unfortunately I fed mine, so I couldn't do it. So he's the one that does the same thing on the A2 after it's booked. It's like a 2-turn shield on a 2-turn cooldown. You don't care that the shield is tiny. As long as you keep the Scarab's turn meter controlled always, you don't care. You can have the smallest shield in the world. As long as you have it on your champions, you're good to go. I think, let me see, was there anybody else that I can think of? Maybe there was one in the Demon Spawn. No, Helicast has it on a 2-turn, on 2 turns for on 3 turns cooldown, so it only goes down for 2 turns. However, if you don't have any of those and you have somebody like a Helicast, do somebody that does shields for 2 turns. If it's on a 3-turn cooldown, but make sure that straight after that you have somebody that comes and extends that shield. So for example, one of the recent epics from the fusion is Anchorite. If you have this one booked, make sure Anchorite always goes after the shield to extend it, and you're still good to go. You might lose a little bit of, you know, some turn meter control and stuff, but if you have no other options, that's the best way to deal with it. But yeah, like I said, hope this was helpful. Hope I gave you some options to be able to tackle the Scarab, because honestly I was surprised how many people, like I mentioned previously, how many people tell me that, like, I cannot beat the Scarab, even though they're, like, you know, late end game people. Maybe not endgame, because if you're endgame you beat everything, but, like, you know, they're towards mid and endgame and they're like, oh, I cannot beat the Scarab, I always have a problem with that. So if you do not have the solo champions options such as Euros, such as Tombhlord, such as Theodore, Lonathar, which has quite a few right now, this is the way to do it, and it should be pretty easy because, as I've shown, most of them are like free-to-play champions. But this is gonna be it for the video today, guys. Thank you for watching, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Peace, love, take care, everyone. Bye, guys.